Your awakening message begins now. So open your soul. Maybe this is for you. In astrology, the sun WHOER. It illuminates our true self and is our key to the cycles and seasons of life among us and around us. Every 2 years approximately, the sun aligns with the Earth Mars, and once it will, it takes on a lot of its energy and beams it down into our core. In ancient Greek mythology, Mars was the god of war and was one among the foremost celebrated and revered. The month of March was dedicated in his honor, creating him the god that rules over the equinox and the begin of the astrological year. Having Mars rule over a time of rebirth and renewal is not any accident and indicates that Mars was very such a lot over simply the god of war. Mars was usually delineated riding a chariot with 2 horses named Phobos and Satellite, with Phobos which means worry and Satellite which means terror or panic. Mars would ride these 2 horses into battle, spreading worry and terror to the opposing facet, but the 2 horses also symbolized Mars overcoming his own fears too as he headed into battle. Fun fact, each Phobos and Satellite are currently the names for the 2 moons of Mars. Although we aren't gods of war, worry and panic are usually riding together with us as we journey through the ups and downs life brings our method. But, a bit like Mars, we learn to ride on anyway. Mars represents bravery and spirit, but also the flexibility to stay going and begin once more, even once life knocks us down. We might not all be fighting in an exceedingly war, however we do have our own personal battles and our own personal defeats and victories we are long faced with each day. They bring about worry, they will even fill us with terror, however there's the simplest way through once we notice our spirit, our bravery, and our determination. In fashionable astrology, Mars is the planet of action and motivation. It's the earth that helps us get on my feet and go and place a ginger in our step. It's the earth we glance to once we want to push, once we want a surcharge of energy, and once we need to rise for ourselves. Mars also rules over Aries, that is the first sign of the zodiac and the ruler of the head vertical bar, the pinnacle, and top of the body. Most of us also start up of the uterus head first into life, and this is often the strength Mars brings us. The strength to require our first breath, the strength to require this sublunary journey, and the strength to understand that even supposing one day it'll all be over, it shouldn't stop us from living life to the fullest. All people have Mars energy among us, and once the Sun aligns with Mars throughout the primary week of September 2019, we'll all be ready to profit and faucet into this energy. Mars and the Sun orienting could be a time to urge motivated and to place our fears to the facet, thus we will follow through on our dreams and goals. It's also a time to cue ourselves of what at present it's to be alive and to be a part of this world. We all have a vision for ourselves or one thing we would like to realize, and whereas the road might feel long or stuffed with obstacles, with Mars riding the chariot, we will feel sturdy and assured that in spite of what, there'll be one thing to find out, some level of growth, and one thing to require off from it at the tip of the day. This Mars energy are going to be felt most powerfully on September 2nd, thus use nowadays to require action and to beat a worry that will be interference you or preventing you from moving forward. Take a flash on nowadays to accept one thing you'd prefer to do or one thing you'd prefer to succeed. Then create an inventory of all the fears that are stopping you or preventing you. Looking at your list of fears ahead of you, accept the simplest way you'll challenge them. Very often, our fears are exaggerated or not as unhealthy as we create them bent on being. Most of the time, our fears are taking part in tricks on us, creating us believe we shouldn't or can't do one thing once we can. Sometimes we've got to listen to our fears, and different times, we've got to feel our worry, however move head first anyway. Generally we've got to use our fears as a guide us on what very matters and what's very vital. During the primary week of September, see if you'll channel this Mars energy. See if you'll feel the worry, however, have it work for you. See if you will use it to encourage you and to encourage you to dig a bit deeper and aim a bit higher. Along with being an emblem for bravery, Mars is also described by the woodpecker. The woodpecker could be a tiny, retiring bird with an extended and sharp beak that may pierce all the method into a tree. The bird's specks could also be tiny to start with, however eventually, it's ready to carve out a hole and notice the buried treasure. This is the energy on provide to any or all of us throughout the coming days. Use this energy to remain motivated, to travel when your goals and dreams, and to know that in spite of whether or not you fail or succeed, there's invariably one thing to achieve, and one thing to be same for taking that leap and simply going for it. Share our messages, dude. I will provide a daily angelic guidance number, love, and angelic blessing. Send of the message. Watch your channel, Awakening People, previous videos for a universal understanding. Subscribers will be updated with the latest articles and informations. Leave your suggestions in the field below. All the love to you, beautiful souls. And we are proud of you as viewers, and of your support for your channel, all for Awakening People. And please support us to develop our work.